Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I would like to remind everybody to fill in their attendance list if they haven't yet, and also to change their virtual backgrounds. Thank you. Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to listen to the opening, which will be led by the meeting chairman, Mr. Kemal Siregar. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Kemal Siregar.
Is my voice clearly heard?
Okay, Pak Kemal.
Okay. Thank you, MC. Honorable Chief of the Executive Office of the President, General Muldoko, Honorable Director of Asian Integration Monitoring Directorate, Asian Secretariat, Dr. Julia Puspadewi Tijaja, Honorable Secretary of the University of Indonesia, Dr. Agustin Kusumayati, Honorable Chairman of International Teleconference on Technology and Policy for supporting implementation Asian COVID-19 recovery plan in Southeast Asia, Professor Eko Suprianto. Good afternoon and welcome distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, to this meeting. We really appreciate the time given to attend the meeting. First of all, let's always give thanks to God Almighty that on this very good day, we can meet in good health. Hopefully, we can good results from this meeting too. We together in ASEAN environment have very noble aspiration to create an advanced Southeast Asian community. To get there, it turns out that we are facing now a test with the announcement of the COVID-19 pandemic last March. Facing the COVID-19 pandemic, the Asian leaders have drawn up the Asian Comprehensive Recovery Framework and its implementation plan. In this context, certainly academics and university have very important roles. This meeting is an Asian Universities Leaders Meeting. This meeting is an initiation of joint work for formulation and implementation of policy and technology, COVID-19 risk management in Southeast Asia. This meeting is an Asian Universities Leaders Meeting, and to fulfill this objective, our meeting agenda is as follows. Introduction will be delivered by Dr. Agustin Kusumayati, Secretary of the University of Indonesia. Keynote speaker first will delivered by Dr. Julia Puspadewi Tijaja, Director of ASEAN Integration Monitoring Directorate, ASEAN Secretariat. Keynote speech 2 will be delivered by General Muldoko, Chief of the Executive Office of the President. Presentation of program will be delivered by Professor Eko Suprianto, Chairman of this meeting, the ITTP COVID-19. After this, there are presentations by Asian University leaders. The Asian University leaders who have expressed their willingness to deliver presentation are as follows. Professor Muhammad Ayub Sadiq from University Brunei Darussalam, Brunei. Dr. Chet Chiali from Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Dr. Andika Putra Pertama from Universitas Pajajaran, Indonesia. Mr. Povong Pimakong from National University of Laos. Professor Yong Zulina Zubairi from University of Malaya, Malaysia. Dr. Nilar Aung from University of Yangon, Myanmar. And Dr. Eva Kutongko de la Paz from University of the Philippines. Professor Su Liang from National University of Singapore. And Professor Ban Chong Maha Isawa Ria from University of Mahidol University, Thailand. Please forgive me if there is something wrong in saying the name. After all of this, we have a discussion session before finally closing. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, let us together at this initial opportunity listen to the introduction that will be delivered by Dr. Agustin Kusumayati, Secretary of the University of Indonesia. I invite Dr. Agustin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, Dr. Kemal. Please inform me whether my voice can be heard clearly.
Yes, Bu.
Okay. Honorable Dr. Julia Puspadewi, the Director of ASEAN Integration Monitoring Directorate, the ASEAN Secretariat. Honorable General TNI Purnawirawan Dr. Haji Muldoko, SIP, the Chief of Staff of the President of the Republic Indonesia and representative from universities in the ASEAN countries. We have quite many now joining this meeting. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon for all of you. First of all, of course, we praise our God Almighty for giving us the healthy now so that we can gather in this very bright situation, very clear weather in Jakarta right now. So let me share my screen. Can I have? Can I share my screen, please?
Yeah.
Okay. So similar to other university, so I think we all have similar main activities as university. Mainly educations, research, and also providing community services. But during this pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, our life as a human changed dramatically. And many of our activities also should be changed and adapted. So in a way that we can prevent COVID-19 transmissions. So it's also happened in higher education institutions like us. So the teaching and learning activities cannot be carried out in usual method or usual manner anymore. Many of us doing long distance teaching and learning. And as our university, Universitas Indonesia, until now, we still doing our activity 100% long distance teaching and learning. And we are planning to start our in-campus activities by next semester. Research and community services, we should be done with a very high awareness and compliance to health protocols aiming to prevent COVID-19 transmissions. And then we have reduced mobility among faculty, students, and also staff due to the prevention of COVID-19, that we have to do physical distancing, avoid crowd, and then we apply work from home and policy. And I think most of us also have some problem, let's say quote unquote problems in financial, because we have decreased financial income. As for Universitas Indonesia, our income is about only 60% of the estimation at the start of this year. And because we face this pandemic, we apply new standards and protocols to maintain safety and health in the campus that needs also more resources and higher budget. So in one side, we receive lower income, but in the other side, we have to spend more money due to new standards and protocols. Besides, we still have a higher expectation on the contribution by our community, by the people, as well as by our government. So there is no other choice for us. Then we have to adapt and change so that we can survive and keep developing as a university, as a higher education institution. There are major adjustments that we have to do to improve our resilience in higher education institutions. So these are some adjustments that already happened in Universitas Indonesia. For example, we apply new standards and protocol for COVID-19 prevention, implement a very effective 5 level of prevention, and then we adjust the learning outcomes, curriculum, and teaching and learning methods. We use information and communication technology, promote distance learning, provide more options and choices to learn for our students. This is what we call as freedom to learn atau Merdeka Belajar, strengthen student-centered active learning. And we do refocus our research, find new opportunities, a response to the challenge, and also the need of the people. And then we promote a multidisciplinary approach and improve efficiency. We also reorient our community services. We focus our community services to increase social consciousness, focus on community empowerment, develop community resilience. And we also promote and strengthen collaboration with other universities, industry, governments, CSOs, and also media. As in the leadership and management, of course, we use ICT to improve communication, leadership and management, improve budget efficiency, improve operational efficiency, and then we strengthen collaboration. Especially in this case, we apply what we call as pentahelix collaboration with the government, industries, and private sectors, communities and civil society organizations, mass media, as well as with other universities, academia, and research institutions. So these are the 5 levels of prevention that we apply in our campus, and then we have to make further arrangements to start activities in the campus start next semester. So COVID-19 prevention is really need an effective leadership, need legal support and law enforcement, organized community effort. We have to rely on self-resilience, focus on health promotion and disease prevention, and also use the technology. We have to strengthen multidisciplinary collaboration, and especially we have to apply collaboration with different parties such as government, industry, private sectors, and also community, the CSO. So these are the concept of pentahelix strategies. I think everybody in the university really familiar with this concept. And during this very tough situation, so this strategy is really works that we can strengthen ourselves together with other parties so that we can face the pandemic and then overcome the pandemic. So using technology is a must. So we have to hybrid and optimizing the use of the technology. For example, this is what happened during the new students coming. We are no more having gathering all the new students, but instead we have the very big virtual sessions with the new students, and then produce a very large virtual Zoom photo mosaic of the participants. Now, what about the ASEANs? We will learn from Dr. Julia Puspadewi later on that we already have what we call as ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. The question is, how can we as universities can support, can contribute, can participate in the implementation of this comprehensive recovery framework? Can we provide some inputs, for example, for developing policies, harmonizing policies among different countries, for example? Can we develop a common public health interventions so that mobility of the people among the countries can be supported, because we have similar and common policy and interventions in public health? Can we develop technology to support the recovery of our area? So these are the questions that triggered us to develop or to conduct international conference among ASEAN universities so that we can discuss these all issues. We can discuss what we have done, what we have produced to support the recovery in our country, and then we can identify the good experience, and then try to identify a certain intervention or policy or technology that can be applied across countries in the region, in Asian region, in such a way so that we as a universities can provide support and also contributions to the implementation of the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. So this is the main idea why we are inviting you all to this meeting today, to have some ideas from your wisdom and your experience facing COVID-19 pandemic in your countries. And then we are really expecting your support to conduct a meeting, to conduct a conference among us, so that we can share our ideas, our experience, and then we can inspire each other. And most importantly, we can provide some ideas and recommendations to our governments, so that the comprehensive recovery framework, the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework, can be implemented effectively. So we all know that COVID-19 pandemics give us challenges, but on the other hand, it also gives us so many opportunities. So I believe if we stick together, we can use the every opportunities, and then later on we can provide the best to our people, to our countries, and to our area, the Southeast Asian nations. I think this is all as introduction to our discussion this afternoon. Again, on behalf of Universitas Indonesia, I thank you for joining this meeting, for coming and then share your ideas about what can we do together to support the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. Thank you very much, and then I return back the floor to Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ibu Agustin. Thank you very much. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, let us now listen to keynote speech 1 together, that will be delivered by Dr. Yulia Puspadewi Tijaja, Director of Asian Integration Monitoring Directorate, Asian Secretariat. I invite Dr. Julia.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much, Chair, for giving me the floor. Good afternoon all, and let me first express my thanks to the University of Indonesia for inviting me today to share a bit more to the audience on the ASEAN COVID-19 response and recovery, especially the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. Let me also acknowledge presence of Bapak Jenderal Muldoko, also the Chair, Dr. Pak Kemal, Dr. Agustin, Professor Eko, which will be presenting the program later on, distinguished ASEAN university leaders, and distinguished delegates. So I will have, for the next 10 minutes, I will deliver on a short presentations focusing on, very briefly, how ASEAN has been impacted by COVID-19. What has ASEAN done? What has been some of the key initiatives that ASEAN has come out with in response to COVID-19, many of which are outcomes of the 37 ASEAN Summit that was recently concluded earlier this month. And then I will elaborate a bit more to introduce to you all on the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. And I would then focus on the use of digitalization, technology, the possible impact on mobility, and how universities and higher education institutes can actually contribute to the region recovery effort. Next slide, please. So this is a very, this is really a snapshot of how ASEAN has been impacted by COVID-19. When you look at the total population of ASEAN, we are about 650 million people now. That's about 8.5% of the global population. In terms of number of cases, we now stand at around 2% of global confirmed cases, and I think just under 2% of global confirmed deaths from COVID-19. So if you look at the numbers, it may look like our region has actually been doing a little bit better than other regions, but we know that both the human and socio-economic cost is really devastating, if you like. The region's economy is expected to contract by 3.8%. This is the biggest contraction we have ever seen since the Asian financial crisis, about 22 years ago, 22, 23 years ago now. Out of our 10 ASEAN member states, at least 4 will see their economy contract by 5% or more. The others will see mild contractions or stagnation. And I think we will only have about 3 ASEAN member states that will still see a positive growth by the end of the year. The data is equally worrying when it comes to trade and investment. In the first 6 months of this year alone, our trade has fallen by about 1/8, by 12.5%. Our investment has fallen by 1/3, by almost 32.9%. And our visitor arrival has declined by 70%. The impact is significant, especially we know that many ASEAN member states are actually relying a lot on tourism for their livelihood. And beyond these numbers, I think we need to worry about the long-term impact as well. The long-term impact on human capital. There is a lot of people that fall back into poverty, if you like. Their children that's actually dropping out of school. And we all know that the impact of COVID-19 is a lot more significant for the vulnerable groups in the community. So there is a risk that this is going to result in growing inequality. Investment, consumption might be deferred, and as a result, that might lead to a more persistent productivity loss as well. Next slide, please. So, of course, a lot of the response and initiatives are being undertaken at the national or even at the subnational level. But within ASEAN, we have to do what the region can do. So one of the first response that the ASEAN did is to establish the ASEAN Coordinating Council Working Group on Public Health Emergency. It was the first working group of its sort, and it has a multi-sectoral, multi-pillar representation. And this reflects the recognition that the impact of COVID-19 is not just a health impact, but there is also very broad-based socio and economic impact as well. And I'm just going to introduce very quickly here a few of the key response initiatives from ASEAN on COVID-19. ASEAN has established the COVID-19 ASEAN Response Fund, and this will provide resources to be contributed by ASEAN member states, but also dialogue partners and the broader stakeholders as well, for the purpose of joint procurement of medical supplies and also for joint research as well. From the economic perspective, ASEAN has very early on committed to keep our markets open. And this is very significant. I think many of us still remembered at the early part of the pandemic where the price of some of the basic sanitary goods actually spiked because of the sudden increase in demand. And ASEAN has committed to keep markets open and to keep supply chains connected for these essential goods as well. ASEAN has also established the regional reserve for medical supplies for public health emergencies, the standards of which will be discussed with the WHO and so on. And we have also adopted the ASEAN Strategic Framework on Public Health Emergencies. They will be the core document that guide what are the strategic standard procedures when we actually are faced with future public health emergencies in terms of contract tracing, joint investigation, and so on. And last but not least, we also working on the establishment of the ASEAN Center for Public Health Emergencies and Emerging Diseases as well. Now, perhaps among all these key initiatives, the one that's actually the greatest focus of this event is on the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. And we'll talk about that a bit more in my next slide. Next slide, please. So the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework was adopted by ASEAN leaders, ASEAN head of states and head of government at the 37th ASEAN Summit in November. And this framework serves as a whole of community exit strategy. So within ASEAN, you have the ASEAN Political Security Community, the ASEAN Economic Community, and the ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. So what we are saying is this recovery framework is not just a health recovery framework or an economic recovery framework, but everything will have to be tackled in a coordinated and a coherent and comprehensive manner. And what it does, it actually serves both purposes for internal and external stakeholders. For the internal stakeholders, we have many sectoral bodies in ASEAN, and this framework provides the strategic direction of how different ASEAN sectors should prioritize, look at what the work they have in place, how do they accelerate, what need to be prioritized, what need to be realigned, and how they should coordinate among the different sectors in order to contribute best to the ASEAN recovery from COVID-19. And among the stakeholders, they can have a comprehensive narrative of how the region is moving on when it comes to its recovery, where they can contribute and how they can realign their priorities. And with stakeholders here, it's broad. It includes our development partners, our dialogue partners, it includes our business sector, but it also includes our research community and other stakeholders, civil societies as well. And we are not reinventing the wheel here. A lot of the work that needs to be done is already within the ASEAN plan. So there are existing and planned initiatives that we want to prioritize and accelerate, but there are also new scope for new initiative or programs to be introduced as well. So the framework is accompanied by an implementation plan. These documents are actually public. You can download it from our website. If you just put in the search engine ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework, it takes you to the link. The framework gives you the context. Where is ASEAN in the COVID-19? How we have been affected? How have we responded to COVID-19 to date? And why do we need this framework document? What are some of the principles and objectives of this document? What are the broad strategies? I will discuss a bit more later on. And I think what's key is that this recovery framework does not just address the short-term impact of COVID-19, but it is also to take us through the reopening stages. This virus is invisible. You cannot just tackle it from a national perspective alone. So when we want to reopen our economy, it is very important for ASEAN member states to coordinate with each other. The recovery framework will be key as well. And last but not least, for the long-term resilience. We also have an implementation plan, which is a living document that spells out the specific initiative and program that ASEAN sectoral bodies would like to undertake to contribute to the COVID-19 recovery. Next slide, please. So this is really very much the skeletal structure of the framework. It covers 5 broad strategies. The first one is, of course, the health systems. We look at the health systems in a comprehensive manner, essential health services, public health services, vaccine, self-sufficiency and reliance, as well as human resource development for the health sector. We're also looking at the human security because we know the vulnerable groups are being affected the most. So we look at this from the perspective of social protection, food security, human capital development, labor market policies, but also in terms of the differentiated impact, a gender impact of the pandemic and the human rights perspective as well. The third broad strategy is about the market. How can the market adjust in the new normal? We will have to digitalize many of our trade facilitation processes. We got to keep supply chain connected, keeps market open. We are looking at, it's actually in the Indonesia initiated initiatives, the ASEAN Travel Corridor Arrangement Framework. And we are looking at how we can better utilize our various free trade agreements to help us in our recovery. The fourth part, which I think of great interest to this platform, is on accelerating inclusive digital transformation. Here, we look at digitalization through different aspects. It's not just about e-commerce or digital economy. It's about digitalization of the provision of public services, e-government if you like, but also aspects of the use of ICT in education, which is of great interest of this, platform, data governance, cybersecurity, whether your digital legislation and institutions are ready to basically help ASEAN transform into the new digital era. And last but not least, this is about a more long-term resilience. How can ASEAN recover and build back better towards a more sustainable and resilient future? We are looking at sustainability from multiple dimensions. We're talking about here sustainable infrastructure, sustainable energy, sustainable investment, sustainable agriculture, and so on and so forth. So there will be a lot of initiatives and programs under these broad areas. And I think just by looking at this alone, there is a lot of areas that many of these higher level educational institutions will be interested to contribute to. Next slide, please. So this is my last slide, and it's just really to focus on that we know that on digitalization, risk management, and mobility, which I know is the interest of this particular event. Digital technology adoption has definitely been accelerated, not just in terms of how we conduct our day-to-day business, our studies, our businesses, and so on, but also for specific technologies that's being adopted to combat COVID-19. In the area of health, for example, at the regional level, the big data analytics and visualization are used to help support risk assessment on communicable diseases. We know that specific robotics technology are being used in hospital care. Or for example, I think there's all these autonomous vehicle being used to do disinfect specific public areas. Within the economic aspect, digital platform is being used to minimize contact in the processing of the trade documents. So the use of the ASEAN single window as a digital platform for the exchange of trade documents. And digital technology also allow for better transparency and resilience in the supply chain. If you know how your supply chain is going to affect it, you can actually address those disruptions a lot earlier and keep the product and the input flows going more smoothly. People mobility, again, which is also, of course, a great interest of this platform. I think we know that there's a work in progress now. ASEAN is in discussions on the ASEAN Travel Corridor Arrangement framework, but we know that technology has been used to support contact tracing, for example. And there is interest, for example, there is merit to look at the possibility of having something that is more interoperable. Digitalization also can help in the contactless immigration processes, again, minimizing the risk of contagion. Within ASEAN, we also have the ASEAN Plus3 Working Group on Student Mobility. And they had their meeting recently, earlier this month, where ASEAN and the Plus3, that's China, Japan, and Korea, have a meeting to share with each other how their educational institutions actually adapt to support student mobility in this case. And I think many of the examples that Dr. Agustin earlier shared are actually similar to what has been shared by these countries as well. Sectoral recovery, again, that's another areas that digital technology can contribute. But I think in closing, what I want to say is that recovery, ASEAN COVID-19 recovery is not just a cross-pillar and the cross-sectoral issues. We want to go further and say, it's not just to be done by the government alone. Different stakeholders have different roles that they can contribute to support a recovery. Our businesses, for example, our MSMEs, startups, all have great key role that they can do to contribute. Within, on the education aspects, we have the ASEAN University Network, for example, where University of Indonesia is a member of. They are actually a listed ASEAN associated entities for ASEAN. And I think it would be good to see what can be done from a platform like this, but also, again, in collaborations on this regional network, and see if there are specific initiatives that's aligned with the broad strategies to the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework that can be offered to support ASEAN recovery. And I would very much look forward to the discussions later on. And thank you very much again for inviting me to this event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ibu Yulia. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, let us listen to the keynote speech 2 that will be delivered by General Muldoko, Bapak Muldoko, Chief of the Executive Office of the President. I respectfully invite Bapak Muldoko.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Selamat siang dan salam sejahtera.
May peace be all upon us.
Yang saya hormati
Honorable
persatu.
and others that I cannot mention one by one
Karena keterbatasan waktu, saya akan berbicara
due
cukup
to
singkat.
the time limits. I will just give a short
Yang
presentation.
pertama, saya ingin menyampaikan apa
First
sih
of all, I would
kebijakan
like to
pemerintah
convey
Indonesia
what becomes
dalam
the
menghadapi
policy of
COVID-19
Indonesia's
ini.
government.
Pemerintah akan bekerja dengan segala upaya untuk
Government
menghindari
will create
agar
utmost effort to avoid
dari COVID-19.
expansion of
Berbagai bantuan
social
sosial
aid
diberikan.
so that the community, the people can
Di
aid.
antaranya itu ada
Create
kartu
a
sembako,
social aid.
program keluarga harapan
Among
dilanjutkan,
others are
kartu
sembako
prakerja,
card,
PLT dana desa,
pre-employment card,
PSPM ya,
village
dari
fund,
kementerian
cash transfer.
dari kementerian yang lain juga difokuskan
Other
untuk
ministry also focus
memberikan bantuan sosial.
on giving a social donation.
Berikutnya yang ketiga adalah pemerintah
The third,
memberikan stimulus ekonomi
the
dan
government tried to give a stimulus
apa itu
to the economy
berbagai insentif agar
by delivering
korporasi dan
incentive,
UMKM bisa menjalankan kegiatan
especially for
bisnis dengan
the
baik,
small and medium enterprise, so that they still can run their
sehingga
business.
tidak ada lagi pemutusan hubungan kerja atau PHK.
Hope there won't be any more job cut.
Biaya yang diberikan untuk urusan COVID ini kurang lebih 695,2
We have provided around 295 trillion rupiah.
Berikutnya hadirin sekalian, dari kantor Kepala Staf Presiden awal-awal juga sudah memitigasi akan terjadinya
From the presidential office, we
ya
have
di mana
tried to mitigate the impact of
COVID-19
COVID-19.
akan memunculkan tingkat stres yang tinggi.
We have been aware that it will create a high tension in society.
Layanan psikologi untuk sehat
Thus,
jiwa atau sejiwa.
Our office has provided a psychological service.
Dan ini kita
It's called
bekerja
Sejiwa.
dengan asosiasi
We cooperate with
ya.
the
Berikutnya kita bekerjasama
Psychologists
dengan Menteri
Association. We also
Perempuan
cooperate with the
dan Anak,
Women and Children
dengan
Ministry.
Satuan Tugas
We
Penanganan
also
COVID-19
cooperate with the
dan berbagai stakeholder yang lain.
COVID Task Force and other stakeholders.
Jadi kalau ada korban yang perlu
So if
untuk
there are the
mendapatkan treatment
victims,
dari
there are
sisi
some people that
psikologi,
think that they need psychological assistance.
maka dia cukup menghubungi 119 dan tekan 8.
They can dial 119 and press 8.
Maka di situ sudah disiapkan selama 24 jam
Has provided
tenaga
24
medis
hours
dari
support
sisi psikologi oleh
from medical expert
teman-teman dari
and psychologist
apa itu perhimpunan.
from the association.
Berikutnya dari situlah berbagai keluhan itu mendapatkan solusi yang terbaik.
We hope that through this program, all problem can get a solution.
Berikutnya hadirin sekalian, ada 5 shifting yang perlu kita pahami bahwa
Next,
COVID
there are 5
telah
shifts that we
memunculkan
have to understand
berbagai kondisi
regarding
yang
the
luar
COVID.
biasa. Ya. Kita lihat dari sisi ekonomi ya,
In economic
tingkat kemiskinan dan
view,
pengangguran meningkat.
the poverty and
Dan pengaruh
unemployment
dari
rate are rising.
COVID
It is
ini kurang lebih
affected by the COVID.
3,9 juta orang Indonesia
There are around
terdampak
3.9 million Indonesian
pekerjaannya
people
gara-gara
are
COVID ini.
affected due to the COVID.
Berikutnya ada perusahaan dan UMKM yang tutup
Next, there are some
karena
companies
berbagai
and
persoalan,
small
daya beli yang menurun.
got bankrupt because of
Berikutnya
the
kesenjangan yang
increase
meningkat.
in purchasing power, and also the social gap is
Yang
widening.
kedua adalah tingkat bergantung pada impor, tidak bisa bergantung pada
Next,
impor.
we cannot rely on
Perdagangan
import
lalu
anymore
lintas
because the
manusia antar
trade
negara menjadi
and people
terbatas.
mobility become very limited.
Ini juga sangat mempengaruhi sektor
It
trading kita.
also affects the trading sector.
Berikutnya pembatasan kegiatan
Activities,
sosial dengan pengumpulan massa dalam jumlah besar.
social activities with
Jaga jarak,
the
masker,
protocols,
dan
distancing,
cuci tangan,
mask, and
3M.
hand washing, or we call it 3M.
Tidak ada lagi aktivitas tim
There are
building
also
secara
no
normal.
more team building activity that requires gathering.
Yang kelima adalah hubungan
And
pimpinan
the
dan
fifth
bawahan.
is how we see the relation between the leader and the staff.
Komunikasi, koordinasi, dan pengawasan semakin banyak mengandalkan
Coordination
teknologi
and
informasi
monitoring are now
digital.
conducted by utilizing digital
Ini yang
technology.
lebih penting lagi, psikologi anak buah
And we
cenderung
do
merasa
see as
tertekan.
well that staff's psychological state
situasi
becomes in
pembatasan
turmoil due to the restrictions.
Ini berbagai hal yang berkembang
It's
dampak
what
dari
happened
COVID-19 yang
in
perlu
Indonesia
dimitigasi
that become
dan
the
kita carikan
impact of
jalan keluarnya.
COVID-19, and we have to search the solution for it.
Berikutnya sebagai hal yang terakhir saya ingin
And
menyampaikan
lastly,
pesan
I would
kepada
like to convey the
teman-teman dari
message for all
perguruan tinggi ASEAN.
colleagues and friends from the ASEAN universities.
10 negara ASEAN telah memiliki sejarah kerjasama
10
bilateral dan
ASEAN member
regional di
countries
berbagai
have
sektor,
long history of bilateral and
termasuk
regional
kegiatan
cooperation
ekonomi
in
dan
various
pendidikan.
sectors, including economic and
Pandemi ini
educational activities.
beraktivitas dan
Before the
mobilitas
pandemic,
manusia dan barang
connectivity and
antar negara
mobility of
sangat tinggi.
people and goods between countries was very high.
Tapi sekarang
But now,
seperti yang kita lakukan hari ini,
like
kita
what
tidak
we
bisa
do
kumpul,
today, we
tapi
gather
kumpulnya melalui video conference.
virtually.
Itulah sesuatu yang nyata.
This is real.
Berikutnya, semua negara
Next,
anggota menghadapi
all
pandemi
member
dengan
countries
ancaman
are facing the
kesehatan
pandemic
masyarakat
that
dan
poses
resesi
great
ekonomi.
threat towards the public health
Walaupun dengan
as well as
tantangan
the
yang
economic
berbeda,
recession, albeit with
tapi
different challenges in respective countries.
setidak-tidaknya ada 3 hal. Yang
But
pertama,
I believe that there are 3 things,
kesehatan,
at
yang kedua
least.
ekonomi,
First, health,
yang
second,
ketiga
economy, and the third
masalah sosial.
is the social problems.
Berikutnya, setiap negara memberikan
Next,
respon yang berbeda
country
dalam
response
penanganan
is
pandemi
differently in handling the
karena
pandemic,
pertimbangan tertentu
subject to
dan
each
kapasitas
unique
masing-masing.
situation and many consideration.
Memang tidak bisa disamakan kenapa kita atau
Cannot-
Indonesia kemarin
there's no
mengambil
one size fits
PSBB,
all in seeing
tidak
this
mengambil
pandemic.
lockdown,
Why we are
karena
taking the restriction instead of lockdown?
intuisi presiden yang begitu tajam.
Because our president has a very sharp intuition.
Bisa dibayangkan kalau waktu itu kita melakukan lockdown, maka
We cannot imagine if we do the
mungkin,
lockdown,
ya,
maybe
dari kesehatan
it
maupun
would be more
ekonomi.
chaotic in Indonesia, both in health and economic sector.
Pokoknya diperlukan kesepakatan dalam
Next,
menyamakan standar
We need
protokol
a consensus and agreement
dan status
So,
kesehatan
in
yang
regards
dapat
to standard
meningkatkan
health
kepercayaan atau trust building ya
and how we can
antar
build
negara di
mutual
ASEAN,
trust amongst ASEAN member countries
hingga mobilitas
so
manusia,
that
kegiatan
people
bisnis
mobility, trade,
dan berbagai
and other
fasilitas
joint activities
bisa berfungsi kembali
can
dengan tanpa
function
mengabaikan faktor
without
keamanan dan
risking the
keselamatan.
safety and health of community.
Ini sangat penting bagi negara bangun
Especially in
trust ya,
developing
bangun trust
mutual trust
bahwa tidak ada negara yang AB di dalam
handling this COVID.
Berikutnya, harapan agar para pimpinan universitas yang
We
hadir
really hope that all
pada
representatives
pertemuan
who are the
ini
leaders in ASEAN
untuk
universities
bisa menginformasikan kepada penentu kebijakan di negara
inform the
masing-masing.
policymaker in respective countries
Seruan
that we call
diperlukannya
for
rencana bersama pemulihan
joint
pasca
recovery
pandemik
framework
dalam kerangka
post-COVID
kebijakan
pandemic
dan teknologi.
that is in line with domestic policy and technology development.
Saya berharap pertemuan
I hope
sore
this
hari ini
meeting
bisa membuahkan sebuah pemikiran-pemikiran
can
baru
create a fruitful
tentang upaya
result,
penyelesaian COVID-19
especially in the
tidak saja dari
handle
sisi
COVID-19,
kesehatan,
not only
tetapi
from
juga
the
dari
health
sisi ekonomi dan
perspective,
persoalan-persoalan sosial.
but also in the perspective of economy and other social problems.
Saya yakin teman-teman dari berbagai perguruan tinggi mempunyai semangat dan tekad yang sama.
I believe that everybody from every university in ASEAN have this
Dan
similar
saya
spirit.
menaruh rasa hormat atas apa
I
yang
highly
telah
respect
teman-teman prakarsai ini.
this meeting.
Demikian yang bisa saya sampaikan dan terima
All
kasih.
that I can deliver. And
Assalamualaikum
thank you.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat
Assalamualaikum
sore.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Thank you for Mr. Mudoko for the keynote speech. And now we will hold a photo session to keynote speakers, meeting chairman, participants, organizers are welcome to take position.
For a minute.
Okay, I will take a picture. I count 1, 2, 3. And once again, 1, 2, 3. One more time and last 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's bring back to MC. Thank you.
Okay. Shall we start again? Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, let us now listen to the presentation of program that will be delivered by Professor Eko Suprianto, Chairman of ITTP COVID-19. I invite Professor Eko.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, first I would like to give my gratitude to General Dr. Muldoko, and then second also to Dr. Julia from ASEAN, and also to Dr. Agustin from University of Indonesia, and not forget also to all the speakers that today we can attend this meeting. So basically I would like also to thanks for the committee previous committee that elect me as a chairman of this international conference. So we plan to have the international conference on technology and policy for supporting implementation of COVID-19 recovery plan in Southeast Asia, basically next year around August 2021. So this is basically the outline that I want to deliver today. I will talk about the backgrounds and then objective of this conference and some topics that will be changed. And the committee, some important dates that we need to discuss also, and some deliverable that we need to achieve. It is well known for us during the COVID-19, our border basically is closer. Our ports is having the very tough screening, and then there are some travel bans, social distancing everywhere, and our university are so close. This is basically our response to the COVID-19. Okay, and this also have impact to especially tourism. According to the ADB, ASEAN will lose around $30 billion for the tourism. Okay, it's basically all the country: Cambodia, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, and Myanmar all lost due to this tourism. So this also causing the economic impact is very tough for us. Yeah, we have Thailand that is have more than -4%, and Malaysia so more than -4%, and so on. But COVID-19 also give not only bad impact, there is also good impact from the COVID-19. For example, the environmental impact that we found that the air pollution is reduced a lot. Basically, in the right side you can see is the blue more than red. Basically, it means is the low risk of the air. And another good impact also, the digital business is also increasing. Starting February until now is around 10% every month basically. To respond this, our leaders basically on the 14th April 2020, the Prime Minister, the Presidents, and the King from our countries, our nations, okay, meet together to okay find a solution, okay, to settle okay this issue. And then okay, last okay few weeks on the 12th November, okay, ASEAN come out with a comprehensive recovery framework that is okay a strategy or plan that is very comprehensive, okay, to tackle okay this issue in order to recover from the COVID-19 impact basically. And then okay, based on our survey, there are more than 300 COVID-19 related research have been conducted in Southeast Asia. And then okay, this all is basically to respond the okay COVID-19. We have in Malaysia some research support by the government, also in Indonesia, and also we found also in Singapore, in Philippines also okay we have some okay research and that, Vietnam also from the okay industrial research. So our partners also from European Union also okay spend okay money on a call for international collaboration okay for this okay research. Also the Islamic Development Bank and also the Asian Development Bank. A lot of okay research grant spent okay for that. Okay, now we have the ASEAN okay policy framework, and then from university we also experience from the research and innovations, and from our countries we have also experience. Okay, this all the knowledge and experience, if we can okay share together, then okay this is okay will be very beneficial okay for us. Okay, during the implementation of the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework, we still able to conduct some research and to discuss okay for supporting okay in this okay implementation plan, and maybe also to evaluate and then to improve the plan. And then okay during this time also we can start to okay develop and select ASEAN's technology and policy to accelerate the okay recovery process. This all we want to have, or we would like to have in another 8 months from now. Okay, so that we hope by August 2021 we can share the finding and recommendations okay through our conference, the International Teleconference on Technology and Policy for supporting implementation of COVID-19 recovery plans in Southeast Asia. The objective of this conference basically is to share research findings related to the technology and policy for COVID-19 risk management. Second is to enable collaborations between or among Asian researchers, innovators, policymakers, but also business people to support implementation of ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. Last but not least, the objective of the conference is to formulate recommendation for ASEAN communities in accelerating COVID-19 recovery process to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal 2030. Some topic that we already identify, but not limited to, please need to be discussed. First is the public health, medicine, and healthcare management, and also education and humanities, economic, business and marketing, sport, culture, environment and tourism, transport, supply chain, and globalizations. We plan to have our committee in order, okay, in the end, okay, the result can be spread out, okay, through the ASEAN. Okay, we have the advisory board that consists of the ASEAN leaders, nations leaders, and some ministry leaders, and steering committee from the leaders from the university, government body, NGO, and industrial leaders. We would like also to have the prominent person, professors, senior lecturers, and senior researchers we invite to become our scientific committee. And we would like also to work together with young, junior lecturers, junior researchers, and also postgraduate students to work together with us to organize the conference. As important dates, we plan to have on the 8th of 8, 2021, is the birthday of the ASEAN, to have this peak of this activity. For the first, I would like to ask all the university leaders here to appoint scientific committee, and then to be informed to us so that we can work together. One of the agenda or the activity that we want to do is every 2 weeks or every month maximum, we would like to have meetings to formulate and then to see the progress of the implementation of recovery plan. And then, okay, we would like also to have a meeting with the ASEAN leaders, inshallah, or maybe, okay, by, okay, next year, January 2021. And then, okay, call for paper for this conference will be done in December this year. And also call for competition. We have two programs. One is the conference, the other one is the innovation competitions. Okay, we will have some notification for the paper acceptance, always, okay, 2 weeks after paper submissions, and notification for product associated, okay, in this innovation competitions, maybe in April or May, okay, next year. And then the paper presentation will be 6 to 8 August 2021, and product presentation also, okay, during the conference. So, and then, okay, last but not least, basically, we would like to have the ASEAN resolutions that we discussed before we finalize also, okay, or we socialize during the conference. As deliverable of this conference, we would like to have the mutual agreement among the countries in Southeast Asia, especially for people mobility and using ASEAN common policy and digital platform for mobility in Southeast Asia. And second, we would like also to have policy and technology recommendation for acceleration of recovery process to achieve SDG 2030. Okay, we plan also to have articles on technology related to COVID-19, risk management in health, education, tourism, and business, but also welcome for others that will be published in IEEE Explore. We already discussed with the IEEE Explore. And then, okay, we would like also to have the articles on policy or guideline or protocol related to COVID-19 risk management in the same area. Okay, and then we will publish in, okay, few, okay, journals that are available in South Asia. And other things, okay, will be, okay, defined in the next meeting. So, yes, okay, no, I would like also to thank for your attentions and hope, okay, we can collaborate and we work together. One ASEAN, one vision. Okay, thank you very much.
I have to unmute first. Okay, thank you. I have to repeat. Yeah. Okay, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for us to listen together to a presentation that will be delivered by Asian University leaders. Dear speakers, please that each presentation time not to exceed 10 minutes. Would you please, each speaker, manage your own time? On this first occasions, I would like to invite Professor Muhammad Ayub Sadiq from University Brunei Darussalam, Brunei, to deliver his presentations. I invite Professor Ayub.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, and Assalamu alaikum, and a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Waalaikumsalam.
Can I share my screen? I think I'm allowed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting and organizing this very important meeting. And first of all, apology from Vice Chancellor. He's on leave, she's on leave, and I'm representing her for today's presentation. And as we're giving outline, yeah, it's a little bit about our university. The University Brunei Darussalam UBD is quite a young university. It's about 35-year-old. Just a few days back, the result come out. We are ranked 75th position in Asia. In fact, quite a small university for a population of less than 1 million less than 500,000 in the country. We have about 500 staff and 5,000 students. We have a comprehensive university and a wide range of academic faculties and research centers. And just to highlight some of the research is material science and energy and data analytics and biodiversity. And finally is Islamic studies. And we also have one small international campus in Da Nang, Vietnam. That's about UBD. And it's a second point is about COVID-19 management in Brunei. COVID-19 reached to Brunei in March 9, and we have up to May 6, about 2 months outbreak. And since May 6, we have only imported cases, no more local cases. It's about 1 case per month. Till today, we have 151 cases and 3 deaths. We can consider it's effective mitigation, flatten the curve within a month. You can see this is about a 4-week duration. Within a month, the curve has been flattened. Alhamdulillah. And we have a number of things to share. I mean, it is because we have a lot of preparation before COVID reached to Brunei, and at the same time, a lot of early restrictions taken, what you call travel restriction and so on. All relevant ministry work together very closely. And then the government has been transparent to the people. Every evening we have a press conference by ministers working together. And we are also reminded for the special prayers at home. And that really built people trust. And then individually people have a sense of responsibility. I think that lead to the success. Okay, in terms of UBD COVID-19 management, as I think it probably would be in all of us, we jumped to the fully online, but it is not a relatively easy transformation because we have been on using a learning management system, which is called Canvas, for about 4 years and practicing as a blended learning. But when we immediately transformed to fully online, there are a lot of issues there. So we did a very quick online survey, take the feedback from students and academic after about 2 weeks of fully online practice. And based on these feedback, and we also take action, we found a few students having no internet and no laptop and no mobile phone and so on. We also get assistance from the industry. These are industries donating to university with the what you call laptops. We also give assistance to our international students. And then we extend the semester based on the feedback, what we get from the students, and change to 100% coursework assessment, and only a few left with online examination. So it's quite manageable. And exchange student as well, it's quite important to make sure they went back home safely. Also, Brunei students come back to Brunei quite safely, and they continue to study as well. So during the March and May, our previous semester have alhamdulillah minimal disruption for their learning. This is the online exam. Our students also involved in what we call mitigation of COVID, as our nurses, our volunteers also involved in what we call disinfection of the places. This is in the library. So in the current semester, we are already in a new norm stage. Since May, we have a de-escalation, what we call a process. So we are now in a level 4 de-escalation. So in fact, we can have a lecture in UBD, but we strictly have no physical lectures. We still continue with the structured blended learning, what we call it. So face-to-face are only for laboratory, practical session, clinical tutorial session, and so on. Research as well. Unfortunately, during this current semester, we cannot do for student exchange because of travel restriction and so on. But we do have, we transform into a lot of virtual programs. So our Global Discovery program become an e-Global Discovery program. We have 48 international students during this semester. And we are also preparing for a virtual student exchange for the next semester. So we have a lot of meetings with our partner universities within ASEAN countries. And this is about our what we call e-GDP. Global Discovery Program, 48 students that I mentioned. And we even managed to have a graduation ceremony on 2nd November. Of course, we strictly follow the, what we call our Ministry of Health guidelines and all. And related to research, basically our epidemiologists joined the mitigation team, especially to do research. Our aim was to evaluate the mitigation strategy from the data that we analyze, and then we immediately give a feedback to what you call those who are doing mitigation to change the strategy for a few times. And because of that, I think the mitigation become much more successful. At the end, our research work has published in Q1, Q2 journals. We have about 20 papers. So these are the research work that we work together with the Ministry of Health. At the same time, second highlight is about digital technology that we use for contact tracing. But in this, what you call recovery period, we continue to use this digital technology for even for non-communicable diseases, sorry for the wrong spelling, risk prediction and intervention. We preparing to have more digital health research. So with ASEAN universities, during the outbreak, we have a lot of intensive discussion to make sure our student back home safely. At the same time, our international student back home safely. And at the same time, they continue to complete their studies. Yeah. During the current semester, as I said earlier, unfortunately, we don't have a student exchange, but we are intensively discussing and preparing for virtual student exchange. Just now, what I showed, we will continue for e-global discovery program. And we also have a global classroom, we call it. We're preparing for joint short online programs with Mahidol University. And in terms of student and staff mobility planning, I think as far as we're concerned, pre-vesting stage, I think we still will have to depend on the virtual mobility. But if we have a vesting and everything, probably we might have a vesting policy for student traveling and all. And then, but at the same time, we should take opportunity to continue virtual mobility, or we should call it virtual engagement kind of thing on top of physical mobility. So that will enhance our, what you call engagement or mobility within ASEAN countries. Expectation from ASEAN, I would say research collaboration, we can do a lot of more research. In fact, the COVID-19 gave us a lot of lessons. What we learned lesson probably may be different in each country, and then we should share it among the, what you call from the perspective of epidemiological, virological, and digital application, and so on. Also from economic perspective. And we should come up with the ASEAN guideline or sort of a policy for student mobility and staff mobility. At the same time, we might be using mobile application for student mobility management. And ASEAN activities also, we should be doing more what you call online, so without travel, less cost, like what we're doing today. And in fact, I must congratulate the AUNQA. During the COVID period, they managed to assess one of our program. And just this morning, we got the good news that that program was successful. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Ayu.
Yes.
The following opportunity, I would like to invite Dr. Chet Cherry from Royal University of Phnom Penh, Cambodia, to deliver his presentation. I invite.
Thank you very much, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Please do.
Yes, and good afternoon to everyone. First of all, let me apologize that I don't have a slide or any document. I just decided to join the meeting yesterday. Let me go briefly and my presentation, my sharing about the experience of my university or Cambodia as a whole will be less than 10 minutes. Actually, my university, Royal University of Phnom Penh, is the oldest and the largest university in the country. It was established in very early 1960. It is a merge of several higher education institutions together after we got independent from France in 1960. We established the university. And currently we have about 1,000 faculties and staff. 6% of them are foreign staff. And we have about 20,000 students, mostly undergraduate. More than 90% of our students under undergraduate program. And we have about 3% of the students are foreign students, mostly from neighboring country and from China. And currently we have 5 faculties in my university and 1 institute with the same equivalent, the ranking is equivalent to the faculty. We have Faculty of Science, Faculty of Social Science and Humanity, Faculty of Development Studies, Faculty of Engineering, and Faculty of Education. And 1 institute we call Institute of Foreign Languages. And we have about 156 MOU with university and research organizations around the globe. Related with the COVID-19 at the university level, I do share experience with our colleague from Brunei. It was turbulent in our implementation, not the crash, but turbulent. Our curriculum was not designed for online, but suddenly we changed to online class. In April, my university was the first to close down because we had quite a number of foreign students from China. So I declared the closure immediately when we found a positive infected person in the country from China, in Cambodia. And after that, when the situation was better, we reopened it, but gradually reopened, not the whole campus like before. We just let students in the field of science come to the campus to use our lab, and theory still online, and social science completely online. But this campus entering just closed again from before yesterday, because we found another infected person. The new case is here, and it is not the imported case. We are still investigating where it come from. The coronavirus come from, because the lady was not traveling, and as country as a whole, our strength, our strong point is that we detect the virus quite well, because in our airport and any entry point into Cambodia, we get all the person who enter Cambodia to put in quarantine for 14 days, and we test to find the coronavirus. So we detect quite well. So in general, at the country level, we control this quite well, and I appreciate my government for doing that. As of now, throughout the country, we have 326 cases, and among that, 73 are females. But 304 people already recover and go back home. Only 22 remain in hospital. We detect quite well so far, but only the case on the 28th of November, the lady from a relatively quite high-ranking government official infected with coronavirus, and she didn't travel to abroad, and the spread of the disease quite fast. We find out more than 10 people within the last few days. And this is the quite serious situation that our government take step very seriously, and all schools and university had to close again, at least for 2 weeks from yesterday to 15th of December. Not only school, but one major shopping mall where we found, where the lady visit, we also closed. And any ceremony that have more than 20 people, we have to close down. We postpone or cancel it. And coming back to university, during this COVID, luckily that my university have many professors and staff, young people. They are very good at ICT. So when we switch from face-to-face manner to online, all of them can implement well. Just only like the case of Brunei mentioned earlier, that some of our students do not have access to online class. They don't have a device properly. And some students live in rural area where internet connection is not that good. But however, we managed to have the universities going on, except the experiment of some classes like chemistry, physics, biology, something like that. Yeah, this is what I can share about the my university during the COVID-19, and some collaboration, student exchange, staff exchange, foreign universities, we postpone or either cancel. Only a few days ago, we have a event with the what we call ASEAN youth, that we do it in Cambodia, and my university is the host. We call ASEAN Korea Youth Summit. Last week we did it. 11 countries joined online. My university is one of the host university, and it was quite successful. And the rest of the program either postponed or canceled. That's what I can share with our session today. And I'm looking forward to have discussion later on in the session. Thank you very much, Chair. I return it to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kiet. Next opportunity, I would like to invite Professor Rina Indiastuti, Director of Pajajaran University, Indonesia, to deliver her presentations. I invite Professor Rina.
Thank you, Mr. Kemal. Ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon. Thank you. It is an honor for me to be able to participate in a presentation on how the university respond to COVID-19. First of all, I think that we same condition in all universities, that today our universities have to try to adjust many things to conduct very well in terms of we enter the new normal activities. Let's me share a screen. Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay. This is our university at a glance. Now, we have around 38 students and staff. And now take a quick response and continuous activities at a new normal condition. Next, we know that these are some campus activities in Unpad, Jajaran, and also in many another universities in Indonesia. We close all facilities in the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And now we also have some government policy to assist and to help the students and lecturers to have subsidized in terms of internet quota. And in our campus, we have some policies related with the COVID-19. For example, we have a policy to add funding to do innovation research, and then also we have make adjustment to provide facilities in terms of digital transformation. Next, the following is a series of activities that we have undertaken since March this year. As we know that March we closed the campus, and April we adopt digital technology, accelerated the daily activities in terms of learning, teaching, and the services. Next, we also responsive to how to break the transmission of COVID-19. And we also increase the resilience of COVID transmission. June and August, and now our campus prepare to make some guidelines that January next month, we plan to reopening campus facilities gradually. Next, we need to be proud that many research innovation are carried out by universities in collaboration with other universities and industry. For example, this is some outputs of research innovation conducted by our researcher related to the COVID-19 that has been used by communities. For example, we have online measurement for COVID-19 self-awareness. And then we have online psychological consultation service during pandemic. And then we have a platform, online marketing platform, we call by Unpad, and also we have telehypnosis, that is a remote hypnotic application to decrease anxiety during pandemic. All of the application has been used by a community in West Java province. Especially cepat, that is antigen rapid test for COVID-19. Now it has finished conducting clinical trials and validations and has pocketed a distribution permit from the Ministry of Health. And also another innovation related with COVID, that is a non-invasive ventilator for COVID-19 treatment and isolated viral transport system. We are proud of this output. Next, On this occasion, we inform you all that we conducted a vaccine clinical trial, and this update. These activities actually carried out in University Pajajaran with collaboration with Bio Farma Corporation, supported by government. The activities consist of that, for example, now they are finished. They has been finished the trial clinical to the sample 1,603 participants, and all of that study is going well, as in the study protocol, with no unpredictable reaction come from participants. Then now we also hope that the experience of facing COVID-19 will strengthen collaboration among universities in ASEAN, because we experience, for example, there's some problem and constraints. So we should together pursue several academic targets that are constrained by COVID-19. For example, we experience in delaying and cancellation of various students and researchers' mobilities. And then we experience also decreased number of researcher exchange and collaboration, and also delay in reagent and research material procurement. So maybe in this occasion, we hope that we strengthening the collaboration among us. This is some example that in the campus activities, some of staff and student mobility do some activities, for example, blended learning, and then virtual mobility program, and then strengthening regional network, and reconnecting and developing joint and double degree program, bridging online network and communication, and joint webinar, and so on. The last one, my expectation in the post-COVID-19, maybe we should do together to recover our target, use the communication and then also consensus protocol and online program, online community, new normal teaching standard, and research collaboration. Thank you very much for the attention. Finish, Pak.
Okay, thank you, Bu Rina. Thank you so much, Professor Rina. Actually, this time slot is for our colleague from Laos. But since our colleague from Laos would like to present at the end, I would like now to invite Professor Yong Zulina Zubairi from University of Malaya, Malaysia, to deliver her presentations. I invite Professor Yong.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kamal. My name is Yong. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor for International at the University of Malaya. Thank you very much for inviting me, and it is really an honor to be able to represent the country as a whole, because when I look at the presentation, it's actually one person presenting it here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with the presentation. Just a second while I kind of move my slides. Hold on. Okay, just a second to get it in the Okay, so I was given the task in which I have to, hold on, for some strange reason, I could not find the presentation mode. Okay, are you able to see now my slides?
Yes.
Is it? Can you all see?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I've been told to give a little bit about the university. So University Malaya is the oldest university in Malaysia. It is more than 100 years old. So how do I describe the university? It is a public university. It is a research intensive university where we cover almost every field. So we also describe ourselves as a comprehensive university. So this is where we are with regard to the international rankings. So being over 100 years, so I think this is something that is quite understandable. So based on the guideline as given by the organizer, I'm supposed to share some of the policies that has been put in place at the university and also at the country per se. Okay, so I think I'm very lucky in the sense that I'm the fourth presenter in which Prof. Ayub and a few others have actually shared some of the things that they have to deal with. So basically it makes my work so much easier. So if you look at the slides here, very similar as what the others have gone through, adjusting to the academic calendar, moving to teaching and learning, assessment, how do we handle industrial training, postgraduate students, what kind of evaluation need to be done, and so forth. Yeah. So what I would like to share from this slide is that for us, for me in particular, there was a steep learning curve where when we make this kind of decision at the management level, we really need to get the feedback from the stakeholders. So for us, we learn a lot in which we have engagement with the student bodies. This includes local students and international students, series of meetings, as well as surveys are done. Surveys basically looking at two items. Number one, do they have the devices? Number two, what's the level of the connectivity? We also get further information from the staff as well. So of course, for most of the academic staff, they do have the devices, but what are the limitations? Again, it could very well be connectivity and so forth. Last but not least, we also engage with another important stakeholders, which is the professional bodies and accreditation, because some of the programs such as engineering, built environment do actually need accreditation from the professional bodies. So with that, we gather all the information, and that's where this big master plan and I can imagine, the massive information that we get when we put things in place. So if you look at the second one, where for Malaysia, the first MCO is on the 18th of March. So we started 100% fully online on the 27th of April. So this slightly more 1 month time, this is where all the gathering of information was obtained. We had to work very fast to assist students who do not have the connectivity. So we had to be talking to telco providers to find what kind of support and how can we purchase sort of an affordable package plan to assist students. At the same time, within the 5-week period, we have series of workshops to teach all the academics on how do we go fully online. Yes, we have done it before. We have actually tried when Malaysia was experiencing the big haze, but that was very pre-planned and things on connectivity and things like that, there was no glitch. But this is really totally new, and we really had to provide all the tools, all the assistance. Our LMS system has got to be put into place, and there were loads and loads of workshops, training workshops, consultancies to all these staff. Next, another one that we also work very hard is, again, in this slide, I'm not going to go through. Very quickly, we developed the Touch application, in which as soon as a person comes into the campus, you have to be signing into the apps. in order to help in the contact tracing and things like that. And also having regular updates and news, the top management message to all the staff with regard to health, with regard to the conforming to the SOP and things like that. And the channels that we use are varied. Here we are using the powerful tool of social media, chat time, and a few other things to actually reach out to everyone out there, not just to the students, but also to the staff. Again, there were quite challenges here because just before we go into the lockdown, some of the students really scrambled and leave the country. And for those who are really in a very difficult time zone, 14-hour time zone, and classes synchronized, asynchronized, or in some parts of the world where they cannot get into the internet access, that was really a challenge for us. And like I said, for us in the top management, it's very much a steep learning curve where we learn from each other. So when we talk about learning from each other, we participated as much as we can on series of webinars where we learn how others are doing it. So for all of us, for me on a personal note, I've never learned so many things, the use of technology within a short time frame. So I think this is very true with the rest of the people at the university. And then also the organizer requested whether we could share also some of the policy that is put in place by the Malaysian government. So this is something that we obtained from the website. What is very clear is that 3 areas that they're looking at are the environment, special population, and documentation. So the first one, environment, is of course the other presenters have already shared, where industries that have heavily impacted: airlines, healthcare, tourism, but for ours is very much at the universities. Yeah, so the support that they provide us, the information, it is extremely crucial, because the information that we have do changes from time to time, very dynamic. And then how do we go about making sure that the information are consistently communicated to all stakeholders, where there is clarity, no confusion, and very consistent with the message out there. Special population as well, that again, we had to run a survey to find where the students are, where our staff are, which part of the city are they in? Are they in the heavy lockdown, or are they in the red area or the green area, as well as those with children and also with some on dread diseases. And the third one, I think, is the features where documentation of all this information on the contact tracing, monitoring, evaluation. This is the government as a whole do place a very strong emphasis on this. Now, you also asked us to share some of the initiatives with regard to research. I think this is very similar as what the other universities have experienced. Like I said, our university is a comprehensive university. So definitely, if I look at all the 17 faculties that we have, the ones that really stood out is the Faculty of Medicine. They have worked very closely with the Faculty of Computer Science to come up with electronic medical devices, and also to come up with diagnostics. So, but definitely, and also the data information, data gathering, and also from the engineering to work on the hand sanitizers. So basically, of the 17 faculties, the one in the forefront that get huge support from the government and really active working on research and actually action research output are the medical faculty, covering from using technology in a healthcare system, as well as addressing the problem with regard to COVID-19. And the university also has got its own university hospital. So we are one of the 70 hospitals that is designated by the government to provide COVID-19 screening throughout the country. So we actually have designed a hospital preparedness task force that address this, and also research on COVID-19, which is not only limited to just the medical as it is per se, but rather the other support, in which people from the social preventive medicine do provide assistance, as well, and on the mental health of the population at large. So how do we frame this up, the works that we have done at the university level as well as a country level, to come together as one whole community in Southeast Asia? So I have kind of like looked at 4 areas that I thought would be good for us to work on. Obviously, in my earlier slide, the things that really change is our teaching and learning. Everybody is going through the same, 180 degrees turn of how we deliver things. So it is good to share some of the best practices, learn from each other. And if we are going online, so we could think about sharing some of the courses, be it in the form of podcasts, be it in the form of shared courses, and it actually opened many possibilities now that we are all going online. So another issue, perhaps another example that could also explore is looking at virtual mobility, and as well as the global partnership. So let me move on to this next slide just to show you some of the examples that we have done. So similar to what we have the other universities, when we had mobility, we always have at least 2,000 students, 2,000 over students coming into the campus. So now we have moved on everything virtually. So here, my strong message here is that we really had to scramble. We really had to innovate things the way we do. We did not want to stop on things that we have done before. So we had to move on and change everything virtually. So now we started very early to have the open day, internship day, because at that point in time, in the middle of the year, our students, our graduates, the final year are graduating. And we want to make sure that they have all the support that they have when they go out in the job market. So together with a industrial partner, we have an internship day. It was a big event where we have about 1,099 students coming into the internship day, and we actually got the Malaysian Book of Guinness record for that, for the biggest number that we have. Then again, like I said, innovation was the main driver, in which the international team really wanted to have a summer program, a short summer program. So it is not a matter of changing from chalk and mortar to online, but rather making it more engaging. So there were a lot of ideas thrown in. So the first round we have 584 students from 94 universities, 26 countries. So that gives us a very strong message that the interest is really there, although we have moved to the online version. Yeah. So
may I remind you, Professor,
right.
The time is
my last slide. So
okay.
So the interests, the main areas that perhaps we could consider is looking at cooperation at all levels, looking at the delivering of teaching and learning, as well as some form of international marketing. But what is really important is the 4th point, in which the relationship, collaboration with global partners are even more meaningful than the yesteryears. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Professor Yong. Now I would like to invite Dr. Nilar Aung from University of Yangon, Myanmar, to deliver his presentations. I invite Dr. Nilar.
Yep. Good afternoon, all the leaders from University from ASEAN. I would like to share my PowerPoint screen.
Okay.
Wait.
Yes.
Let me see. Yeah. I lost my screen. No.
Now is.
Hey. Without sharing the screen, can I read it?
Yes.
Because it is one problem giving my computer giving me a wrong message.
Please do. Yes.
Yes. We are from, as I am from University of Yangon, I would like to introduce a little brief information about University of Yangon. University of Yangon was established in 1920, the earliest university in Myanmar. Yesterday we celebrate the 100-year events part of the university. Now we are offering bachelor, master, and postgraduate diploma, and also the PhD program now in our university. More than 1,200 faculty and academic staff in our university, and with the student enrollment is 15,000, more than 50,000. Now we are linking with the ASEAN region, other university with other ASEAN region, Asia, Europe, and North America. We have a 20 academic department with 12 arts department and 10 science department. Now we are in the future, we are planning to transform to the faculty system. In the future plan, we will have 5 faculties, such as Faculty of Science, Faculty of Technology, Faculty of Arts and Humanity, Faculty of Social Science, Faculty of Law. I would like to, I would like to discuss about the preparation of the policy of COVID-19 management at the university level. Now we are, according to the COVID-19, most of the university was closed in the mid-March. So now we are preparing to prevent the coronavirus diseases according to the guideline of our Ministry of Health and Supports. Firstly, we need to have awareness training, and also, we need to, follow about the practicing. We are now conducting the activities with the guidance of Central COVID Committee in University of Yangon. I'm planning to have education during the after COVID-19. We are preparing based on the impacts of COVID-19 situations. Now, as for the developing country like Myanmar, now we have more than 143 universities around the whole country. As for the University of Yangon, we can offer pure online education in University of Yangon because we have a infrastructure, physical infrastructure like internet, and also human resource, skilled teaching staff, and also we have a technology about the learning management system. But for the because of the equity, we have a more and more. Myanmar is, combined with more than 132 ethnic groups. That's why we need to more emphasize on the equity. That's why most of our class was closed, and also we are now preparing for the online or blended learning based on the impacts of COVID. Now we are trying to finding the best solution for post-COVID-19 from the discussion with the boundary partner like Department of Higher Education, Department of Health, and also faculties members and students, and also alumni. How we should move in the futures. Encouraging into the developed research to the pandemic problem context of all sectors. Now currently we are making the research, doing the research conferences on to do research upon the pandemic to respond to COVID-19 pandemics. Policy of COVID-19 management at the country level. Now we have a Central COVID Committee to control the all issue of the COVID-19 about the Myanmar. School health and COVID-19 prevention, we have strategies and preparedness and awareness and law enforcement. promoting public awareness from the song, especially like prevention songs and like washing the hand, and so about the social media, and also campaigning about wearing the masks. And also to cooperate with an NGO and donors and from local and international, we support the COVID quarantine centers. We have 3 types of quarantine, the quarantine center and home quarantine and hotel quarantine. As a COVID quarantine center, we all support food and medicines with the donations of the local international supporter donors and also from the government support. Activities in accordance with the guidance from COVID-19 Committee, MOHS, we have to follow all of the activities must follow the Central COVID Committee guidelines, issuing direction and order to control the difficult situations. And also, as our university research, COVID-19 related research and developments by the university. Our university is Arts and Science University. So that's why we are, currently we are doing the research on the people perception and experience on quarantine during the COVID-19 outbreak, especially from quarantine center, home quarantine or hotel quarantine. And also the doom suffering on or information of new media consumption during the COVID-19 pandemic in Myanmar. It is mainly emphasized on the mental issue, and also for the infrastructure at the issue assessment. Some of the research is doing assessments on the precautions of COVID-19 diseases and water utilization management in Yangon cities. And also the last the research we are doing about COVID-19 is the impacts of COVID-19 pandemics on mental health of undergraduate students in Myanmar. It is the research now we are focusing from University of Yangon. And also I would like to present about the effect of COVID-19, especially to our collaboration among the university in Southeast Asia. With we have a total positive case is totally 92,000, more than 92,000, with depth of 1972. It means 1,972, which recovers more than 17,000 people, especially from the Yangon region. The total COVID positive issue came out from University Yangon region, which we located our University of Yangon. That's why all township of Yangon regions must stay at home area. That's why, and also as you all know, now we are our rank in positive pandemic in 4th rank in ASEAN pandemic count. With these situations, we are currently for all activities of MOE. As I mentioned earlier, we have to follow the Central Committee for Prevention. We have more than 38 guidelines from the Central COVID Committee that's affecting this because of the COVID. We are affecting all aspects: health, economic, security, social, and political instability in also the whole country. Especially because of our country is developing countries. To promote healthcare system and sufficient resources is questionable for that. And then now we are trying to retrieve all activities, the new normal worlds. Also, we need to have a technological support and recovery measures. And also concerning about the staff student mobility plannings. With this situation, I already mentioned above, mobility of students and staff is very questionable at the moment. That's why we plan to do with virtual online, both student and staff. And also we require from global collaboration and social economics impacts. Also, I would like to talk about the expectation of ASEAN in post-COVID-19 recovery plan for development. We need to sustain activities and programs within our university, ASEAN universities. And we need to more resource prepare for the emergency situation like we want to learn from your university emergency management accreditation program, EMAP, or crisis sensitive education planning. We still need to learn from yours. And also we afford to support recovery measure in member countries, especially in terms of funding and also recovery strategies and also training we need to have. And also multilateral solution by the actors at the all level, global, region, and national. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your very kind attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aung. The following opportunity, I would like to invite Dr. Eva Kutionko de la Paz from the University of the Philippines. I invite Dr. Eva.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon. I am representing the University of the Philippines. The University of the Philippines, or UP, is a state university system in the Philippines. It is the country's national university. We are 112 years old. UP has 8 constituent universities located in 21 campuses across the country with about 50,000 students. Just like other universities in Asia, UP is going through uncharted territory with the pandemic, prompting various strategies to adapt their missions to the pandemic. UP remains committed to fulfilling its multiple mandates as lead university in setting academic standards and initiating innovations in teaching, research, and faculty development. Policy of COVID-19 management at the university level include post-ECQ guidelines and protocols, an app for system tracking and protocols for COVID cases and asymptomatic positive cases for students, faculty, and staff, COVID-19 mitigation and prevention plan and student entry guidelines, classroom arrangement for the comprehensive examinations. Policies of COVID-19 management at the country level are as follows. Creation of the COVID-19 Interagency Task Force for the Management Emerging Infectious Disease as lead. IATF determines the quarantine status of particular areas in the country and policies related to the mobility of people and quarantine facilities. The Philippine Department of Health is the source of decision tools for COVID-19, apart from all the policies related to testing, surveillance, and treatment protocols. The pandemic mobilized the University of the Philippines' multidisciplinary research expertise in addressing multiple COVID-19 related imperatives. For instance, the university has more than 200 projects focusing on the molecular biology and clinical features of the virus, clinical trials on and evaluation of treatment, infection control measures, development of a COVID-19 testing kit, projections on the state of transmissions based on data and density map and on current active cases. Engineering solutions such as prototype adult ventilators, disinfectants, and decontamination chambers through different means, such as the ones that you see here, the development of apps, such as for those that can be used for more efficient case finding and monitoring, job risk calculators for the workplace, and the analysis of the pandemic's socioeconomic impact, such as effects on supply chains, among others. UP's public health service function is palpable in various initiatives that include the Philippine General Hospital, which is our university hospital in the Health Sciences campus, as the COVID-19 referral center of the country, the establishment of UP's testing centers, and as well as isolation facilities. The university also provided training in molecular diagnostics, biosafety, and biosecurity, 3D printing of face shields for frontliners, and dissemination of scientific information and open education sources on COVID-19, such as the Stop COVID Death virtual grand rounds, which we have been holding every Friday since the start of the pandemic. As regards the teaching and teaching-related mandate of the university, there is a detailed roadmap that has been developed. The following operational principles underlie UP's policies and initiatives in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Protect the UP community from the pandemic, sustain the continuity of instruction and learning, and consider equity concerns. For the mode of delivery classes throughout the UP system, it is delivered remotely with exemptions on the conduct of face-to-face classes to be granted by this constituent university chancellors, subject to strict compliance with public health protocols and the guidelines set by the government and the university. Thus far, approved exemptions across the system involve graduating students and researchers requesting permission to complete laboratory experiments, internship, and clinic or laboratory-based course requirements, such as those in the health disciplines. Innovative ways have been developed to fulfill an internship requirement. When faculty, staff, and students return to the campus, the next normal will be a mix of face-to-face, virtual, and experiential learning using 21st century modes of learning that are problem-based and competence-based, employing design thinking and leveraging technology. This shows the preparations of classrooms, laboratories, and clinics for future face-to-face classes in our health science campus, retrofitting of the clinics, reducing contact, and also to reduce transmission. This shows the shift from traditional to virtual learning activities, again in the College of Medicine. Despite the pandemic, the university maintains its links to local and international university networks, keeping abreast of the experiences, strategies, and plans of other universities for dealing with SARS-CoV-2-induced crisis in higher education. Individual researchers from the university collaborate with colleagues from ASEAN and other regions. Our expectation is to strengthen cooperation and collaborations. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Eva. Thank you. Okay, now I would like to, next opportunity, I would like to invite Professor Bancong Mahaisawaria from Mahidol University.
I'm Bancong Mahaisawaria, President of Mahidol University. Sorry for just coming to the conference room because I have another meetings. Anyway, I have been requested to share some experience of Mahidol universities to resolve the problem of COVID. For the, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Anyway, Mahidol University is the leading university in life science. So that we have a president, former president, who is the former Minister of Public Health, and another one is the former Professor Udom, also one of the leading and former president of Mahidol University. We have been invited to participate in the task force assigned by the government to have a committee, task force committee. So the committee joining with a staff member from Minister of Public Health to have a regular meeting to acquire all the information and provide the knowledge to publics, and also planning for resolving the problem. And we also have medical school, two medical schools. One is the Faculty of Medicine Sirat Hospital, and another one is Faculty of Medicine Rama Tibri Hospital, which is under Mahidol University. Both hospitals also have a subset of the hospital within their umbrella, so that we have 7 hospitals under 4 under Rama Tibri Hospital and 3 under Sirat Hospital. And we can prepare for the facility to take care of the case, starting from early diagnosis and also degree of level of degree serious of the condition of the patient. We also have provide ICU for serious patients. Both hospitals also provide the space for PUI and also for the quarantine. And we also join with the Faculty of Engineering to make any research work to prepare for ventilators, and also negative pressure for transportation system for the patients, and also the robot to take care any services to the patient that admitted in the isolated wards. Another faculty that have been working together with Faculty of Medicine is the Faculty of Medical Technology. So we have another diagnostic for confirming that the swab specimen is valid, so that to confirm that any specimen that we receive from the patient is correctly from the place for the validity of the specimen. And we also joining with others, private sector, to prepare for any medical equipment such as PPE and the mask to serve our hospital, because at the crisis period of time, we lack of many of the equipment, we lack of the mask, we lack also the PPE, and also several things that we have to prepare with our own materials. And for the teaching and learning process, we use the 4P. The first one is we pause or we quit certain activities within the university for the face-to-face activities, and we postpone certain activity that we have to maintain the knowledge by hand-on. So some kind of hand-on activity have to postpone in later stage. And we also prepare for the new normal. And another aspect is we have to thinking about 4D that will be happen in the later stage or post-COVID. The first D is the digital technology that we have to shift many conventional technique for teaching and learning to be digital technology. Let's say about online teaching and virtual classroom, virtual meeting, and several things with digital technology. The second is the distancing. We limited the number of the students within the class when we have to have physically attending in the class, and also every meeting room have to prepare for sufficient distance among attendants, and also the dormitory also have limited number of the student. So some part of the student have to stay at home and working from home. For the staff member also, we have limited number of the staff to physically work in the university, and we allow working from home, and unlock several regulations that we have to pay for salaries or the staff members for any activity that maintain monthly and daily activity that we still maintain. The third one is discrimination. We have to prepare the technology to discriminate the system that risk patients or risk attendants or any visitor to come in. And also we advise the student any activity that have been should be avoided, and we have to quit certain activity that which is risky to have any contamination or exposed to the viral conditions, and also the place. And we limited the activity for international mobility. We shift the mobility internationally into virtual student activity for international foreign students that have participated to any kind of Mahidol activity for the students. And the last one is domestic, for the domestic. We have to pay attention that most of the activity that we have to make it within the domestic level and encourage the student to restrict any mobility to the area that which is a risky place that we have to avoid. That's all that we have. And another thing that we try to provide for such kind of condition is we have collaboration with several faculty and also with other private sector and also government sector to facilitate the vaccine development and also clinical trial for drug development in our countries. And also many medical innovation at this time and enhance the process of approval by the FDA, Thai FDA for certain medical device. This has been working together from Mahidol University and other medical school together with the medical Minister of Public Health. This all that we have experienced for take care of the COVID-19 pandemic for Mahidol University. That's all. Sorry, I have no any slide to prepare because I just only express my experience that we have engaged and contribute something to the government and to the society. Is there any question?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Banchong. The following now, I would like to invite Professor Su Liang from National University of Singapore, to deliver his presentations. I invite Professor Su.
Thank you. And Professor Tan, the president of NUS, sends his apologies. So I'm here to present on his behalf. The National University of Singapore is the oldest university in Singapore. It has about 40,000 students, and there are 14 faculties and schools across 3 campuses. There's also a medical school and a couple of hospitals. So let's talk about the COVID-19 policies at a national level first, so you understand what we do at the university. And basically it's the same as what you have all presented earlier. So Singapore takes a whole of government's approach in crisis management, and for COVID-19 it was no different. There are 4 pillars for the COVID-19 strategy in Singapore, starting with enhanced surveillance, which is having improved surveillance systems like screening of target groups. And for that purpose, there was a ramp up of testing capacity for COVID-19 to more than 100,000 per day. And the second is containment, where all the confirmed cases as well as the suspected cases have to be isolated. And we learned early that those cases who came from overseas, they could not be isolated at home, but had to be kept at a separate facility. There was also active case finding, which built up on an existing team from the Ministry of Health to a team that's almost 4 times the original size, looking at contact tracing around confirmed cases, including for the period where patients were pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic and could still spread the infection. And we have got several apps, including this Bluetooth Trace Together handshake. And then there was epidemiological investigations that look at transmission links. And finally, most importantly, which is practiced around the region, we had to reduce importation, even though it was quite costly in socio-economic terms. So in the University of Singapore, what we did was that we practiced enhanced physical distancing. And we did that by rolling out online education resources, Zoom for classes and assessments, home exams, and student study spaces. And you can see from the map here, to make sure that the students stayed far apart when they were on the university campus. But most important, I think, is the fact that we had to establish good communication with both the staff and the students to try to allay all the fears and uncertainty, similar to what many of your universities have practiced. Where staff and student mobility was concerned, the campus itself was kind of split up into different zones where, without valid reasons, staff and students were not able to cross into neighboring zones, and there was an app that's built to warn the students and the staff if they'd gone into a different zone. And of course, for those who were overseas or had projects overseas, this became severely limiting in terms of what they could do and whether they could even come back to Singapore. At the residential halls, we encourage those students who lived in Singapore to leave the residential halls and go home. But for foreign students who had to stay in Singapore, then we had to make provisions to ensure that they kept on to safe distancing and they could be protected from becoming infected. So there were different mitigation measures put in place, and there were different measures for prevention and surveillance, including wastewater surveillance from the campus, as well as regular testing of the staff and the students on the residential halls. All research on campus that was not related to COVID-19 had to shut down for several months when the university went into a kind of hiatus. But there was ongoing COVID-19 related research, and our researchers contributed lab consumables to the Ministry of Health for COVID testing and redirected research towards COVID-19, for which there was considerable national funding. Some of the key research that we did included modeling work to try to recognize and to try to figure out what were the impacts of the different changes and interventions that we imposed nationwide on COVID-19. We developed rapid tests, and while our vaccine is not quite as fast as the ones that are coming up over the next few weeks to months, nonetheless, we hope that we should also have a vaccine from Singapore tied up with a US company sometime next year. So I think, although the pandemic is a major tragedy, there is a certain silver lining to it. It's allowed us to establish ourselves as perhaps a global thought leader in some areas. It's allowed us to have a deeper engagement with the alumni and the regional governments and universities. And there's been a far more rapid build-up of e-learning capacity than we could have achieved otherwise. And I will stop here. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. We are waiting for our colleague from Laos. Are you ready now from Laos?
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Paufong Pimakong. I invite Mr. Paufong.
Okay. Thank you very much, Presidents, Rectors, Vice Chancellors. Thank you very much for having a National University of Laos over here to join this the ASEAN University Leaders meeting. First of all, I have to express our sincere apology on behalf of the President of the National University of Laos, because today is the National Day of Lao People's Democratic Republic. So my president could not make it to attend this meeting. So he just expressed his sincere thanks for inviting him and also having our university over here. So yes, I just want to start. Maybe I need to give the broad picture of COVID-19 and how is that our country is dealing with this one, especially our university. So I will start with the a situation of COVID-19 in Laos. I think it's the same as other countries in the region, ASEAN in particular. Perhaps Laos is not known or reported like other countries in the region, like Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia. And so far as I know, Laos is only the country having the smallest number of COVID-19 infection. Is that from the beginning up to now, is that the whole country we have only 35 cases. So it's a very a small number. But in the situation that we are facing, these big challenges from COVID-19 and also the other health problem over here, we say here in the country that our government is doing a very good job is that for this one, because from the beginning, Lao government was starting with the, response package by forming the National Task Force on COVID-19 prevention and control. And from time to time, government has, issued the measures, necessary measures taken by the whole country. So my university actually is the key university of the country under the Ministry of Education and Sports, Laos. So mostly we just refer to our government announcement or government decree is issued from time to time. But Ministry of Education will take the job as the party to take the whole, and then delegating to the universities or parties under ministry. So from the beginning up to now is that the national assessment done here is that our government is doing quite effectively for this one, because one thing we have good support and assistance in terms of medical things from the government of China, and the United States government, for example, in the countries are also working in close collaboration with the Lao government. So in terms of a COVID-19 measures, as I said, the university is just to provide the information and reports on current situation of university in terms of the management and also the academics in regard to COVID-19. One thing I just want to mention here is that National University of Laos is only one university in the country having international students here. We have nearly 800 international students in university. So just only university to report to the government, especially the Ministry of Education. But of course, university itself has the package of responses to tackle with the issue of COVID-19 over here. Basically, our university just refer to the basic practices to prevent the COVID-19 from the beginning even up to now. For example, physical distancing, hygiene, cleaning, and also the use of personal protective equipment. So in terms of teaching and learning at a university, from the beginning, once we have the announcement by the ministry, university just closed the campus, and also having kind of basic guidelines at the beginning given to the local and also international students. If my understanding is correct, is that at the beginning, some of our foreign students just leaving university, some without without permission of university, because those students just allowed to stay at university housing, and some stay in their own housing. That's why it's a bit difficult for university at the beginning to control our international students. But for local students, we have no problem, because from the beginning, all the borders with our neighboring countries were closed. That's why this is one thing we prevent our local students from international students from going back. But as we know, from time to time, is that, for example, here mostly we have Vietnamese and Chinese students, some from Korea and Japan. Korean and Japanese students are very disciplined, is that they stay and waiting for the order or announcements from university. Sorry, I think I just, okay. Concerning the policy of university for the COVID-19 management at university, in comparison to other universities in ASEAN, we may not have such a big scale because mostly we just refer to our basic practices given by university. For example, our students and lecturers working from home, sharing assignments, and also one thing we are discussing, and it becoming much more louder for university. Perhaps in the future it could be something like a big reform at university, that the online programs, online courses will be in place, because before or pre-COVID-19 time, the online programs and courses were something just only on the paper. But after COVID-19, now is the leadership of university and the government are saying this one is very important. That's why we just say that the online program and courses will be the option, they said, even in the future of after COVID-19. And concerning the question on COVID-19 related research and development, or R&D, I would say university is not in that high level to do such kind of research. Mostly we just keep working with the government's hospitals and also the research institutes in the country by highlighting that the research in the area of COVID-19 is something very important. Even the country is still lacking of the resources. So far we have been reported that we have the medical doctors sent from China to help with this one, and also with the countries here. So just for your understanding of our country situation, Laos is a country, perhaps we are surrounded by neighboring countries. So mostly Laos is not like Singapore, that it is the hub of international aviation. So even a small country, you have a very big number of cases. But Laos is a big country, we have small a number of coronavirus cases found, because before the international passengers arriving or coming to Laos, they will be quarantined in Hanoi, in Bangkok. That's why that is one way to prevent the COVID-19 infected people from entering the country. So yes, within the country, we also have the preventive measures implemented for staff and students at our university. As I said that, from the beginning, we just refer to Ministry of Education and Sports, and also having the notes and also measures taken specifically by university. For example, limiting the students traveling from overseas, and also we don't allow our students to leave the country for the international exchange or mobility programs, whatever. My university is working in close collaboration with the different ASEAN universities, especially within the AUN ASEAN University Network. And also we share the information. We usually, my president is invited for online or virtual meeting to share our current situation of coronavirus in the country. And as I guess I'm the last person, I don't, because my preparation here is not really sticking to the guidelines of the organizer. The last point I just want to mention here is the effect of COVID-19 towards the collaboration among universities in Southeast Asia. I think it is the same because if you remember, I think all of our member universities here are joining the EU Share program. So within COVID-19 time, I think we have no activity, just only sharing our discussion and things like that one. And also for those, a program with the European partner universities, we just keep, virtual virtual events like this, like discussion things like. So that is the brief report from National University of Laos. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Po Fong. Dear participants, ladies and gentlemen, after we have sharing a lot of information from the previous speakers, now we come to the discussion session. Hopefully we can finish it in the next 20 minutes. On this important opportunity, we hope that there will be an agreement among us for us together to follow up on this meeting so that we can organize the international teleconference plan properly. We have 5 proposals here to be discussed in 20 minutes. Let us start with the proposal with regard to steering committee and scientific committee. Pak Hendy, could you help us sharing the proposal? Yeah. Okay. Proposal number 1. Yeah. This proposal with regard to steering committee and scientific committee. The tasks of steering committee are as follows: propose a university scientific committee, obtain report from scientific committee, coordinate with national authorities on COVID management, give directions or strategic plan for post-COVID-19 recovery plan, support scientific committee. And the task for scientific committee, coordinate COVID-19 research and development at own university, act as innovation competition judge, do paper review, attend scientific committee meeting, give scientific opinion or proposal to solve common ASEAN issues or problem. We would like the agreement from all universities who attend this meeting to support the ITTP COVID-19. Firstly is the agreement to become steering committee. For this, we invite the president or rector or vice chancellor or vice president, vice rector, deputy vice chancellor to be the a member of the steering committee. So here we have the university who attend this meeting. I hope that we could all agree on this. Unless there is something we need to note, we will make a record for that purpose. So I would like to have a response, some response from the audience.
Of the University Putra Malaysia, I have no objection on this steering committee issues. We are willing to participate.
Okay. Is there any others?
From Airlangga University.
Yes, please.
Airlangga, yes, we all agree about your proposition.
Okay, thank you.
And Pak Kemal,
yes.
Universitas Padjadjaran also agree with the proposal.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Sir, from Cambodia also agree.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah,
from Singapore, we also agree.
Okay, thank you.
Laos, we
Mahidon also agree.
Okay, Lao.
Okay.
From the Philippines also agree.
Philippines. Thank you very much.
from Mahidol University.
Mahidol, yes. Thank you.
From University Malaya. I
Yes,
believe
please,
our partners as well, perhaps UTM, Prof. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Brunei, yes.
Malaya, UTM. Yes. Okay.
I'm from the University Kebangsaan. I think we agreed to be in.
Yes, thank you so much.
University Brunei Darussalam, yes, we agree for it.
Thank you so much.
I'm from University of Yangon. I agree.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hello, I'm from the
Yes.
Singapore Management University. Singapore Management University from Singapore.
Yes. Singapore.
Yes, we will check and let the committee know again.
Yes.
Thank you.
From ITB, Institute Technology Bandung, we will discuss first internally.
Okay, thank you.
For Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Sorry, for Malaysia, I can see University Science, but I think we do not have a representative here. Can we get back to you and let us?
Oh yeah, okay. Let's have a discuss. Okay.
UI agree Pak Kemal.
Ya, UI. Gajah Mada, is there any representative from Gajah Mada? If not, we will follow up.
Economist, I agree.
Okay,
Myanmar.
thank you so. Myanmar,
Yes, Yangon University of Economics.
yeah. Myanmar, yes. Okay, that's all. Is there any from Singapore Management University?
Hello, I've already mentioned just now we will discuss later. Sorry we didn't
Oh
get
yeah,
it now.
okay.
Thank
Pak
you.
Hendy, tolong. Yes. Okay, yeah. Is there any others? I think that's all ya Pak Hendy. Masih ada yang belum? Is there any? Okay. Okay, so mostly we have an agreement on proposal number 1, and there are some that we would follow up later and hence have some communication. And for the scientific committee, we would like to have your agreement that this would be selected from the university, and then we will collect at latest 1 week after this meeting, and we would like to invite professor, lecturer, researchers, and also invited persons by conference chairman. Okay, is there any others comment on this?
How many members for each university?
Okay.
Is there any?
Pak Eko, I would like to ask this to Pak Eko. Could you respond to this?
Yes, basically, okay, open, okay, can be up to 10, okay, from each university.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, for this, if there is anything, then we could put an agreement on this, and if there is anything else that we can record later. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think that's for proposal number 1. Then we move to proposal number 2. Okay. This proposal is on mutual understanding on data and information exchange related to research and development information.
Pak Kemal.
Yeah.
I'm Rizky from Universitas Padjadjaran. Can we return to the proposal number 1?
Okay. Pak Hendy bisa tampilkan the Excel ya?
No, I mean the slide.
Oh, the slide.
Yeah, I think by deciding the age index of more than 15, maybe it's not a really good idea because as we know that for science and for social science and for engineering or medical science, the age index is not comparable. So if we put the age index more than 15, we will have very hard to find a representative from social science. That's my opinion.
Okay, so I think the committee could record that. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Pak. Okay, we move again to proposal number 2. Yeah. About mutual understanding and that on data and information exchange related to research and development, related to document of risk management, COVID-19 risk management. Yeah, I hope if we could agree on this as a part of our next international conference, but if there is anything we need to note, I would like to have your response on this.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I'm just wondering about proposal number 2. Yes, are you talking about signing an MOU or this matter?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Is there any others? Comment
From UNER,
inputs?
Pak Kemal.
Yeah. From UNER, yes, please do.
What do you mean a document related to COVID-19 risk management? Because I think document is very, very exceptional and special. I think maybe it's better is not document, but information related to COVID-19. Information is for wider.
Okay.
Document.
Okay. So make it wider, yeah? Okay.
Okay, yes.
Okay, thank you. If there is no other opinions or inputs or comments, shall we agree on this proposal?
Yes.
Okay,
agree.
Thank you. Let's move to proposal 3, Pak Hendy. Okay, so the following is proposal 3, and this proposal is on innovation competitions. For this, I would like to ask Professor Eko to be able to explain more about these innovation competitions.
Okay.
Professor Eko, yeah, please.
Yes. So, okay, as I explained before in my presentation, there will be innovation competition. It means either product, it means technology and policies that produce or invented by the university, and then can propose to us, and then we will have the special meeting for this to do some selection of the best. But this is we will inform later. It means no, we just agree on we want to attend or to participate in this competition, not. okay, after you agree on the attending these competitions, okay, we will have two things. One is to become judge, and then second also to participate. Okay, this is two things that we offer to you all or to us.
Okay, thank you, Pak Eko. So then, distinguished participants, I would like to offer that we agree on this innovation competition agenda to be one of the agendas at the International Teleconference. But if there are comments or inputs, please let us note them.
Yeah. You add one topic, Mr. Kemal. I think the social aspect is very important also.
Okay, so we could put as one of the policies.
Yes,
social, yeah, social,
yes,
yeah. Okay, social dimension, social aspect.
Yeah.
Social, yeah, social aspect. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so if we could agree on this, shall we move to proposal 4? Yeah, Pak. Yeah. Okay. This is the proposal 4. This proposal relates to dates. Yeah, so a lot of dates that we have here. Regarding this date, may I ask Professor Eko to explain a little bit more?
Hello, yeah, Pak
Yeah.
Kamal. Actually, here the most important is the final date. Okay, on the August 8th. Yeah. Okay, 8 August 2021. This is the date that we need to agree on that date. If we are all agree, then we will do likely. But the other date is still optional. A few things, for example, on paper presentation, product presentation is still optional. But the most important here is only on the 8th August will be we need to attend the ceremony or the final occasion of this conference basically. So whether we are agree on the 8th August or we need to have another times, because I don't know whether this 8th August is for university is all we all able to attend this, or actually we have student at that time and so on. I don't know exactly in this at university on from every university. This is basically my intention is just to ask whether it is okay or not.
Okay, thank you, Pak Eko. Pak Hendy, it seems to me that we need to distribute these materials to the participants so that the participant could see in more detail about the dates.
Yeah, I've already distributing them.
Okay. There is a participant that asks about this information. Okay, so distinguished participants, so the most important date is the 8th of August 2021, and the other the other activities are designed to meet that date. Okay, so that one. Okay, so but if there is a note or comment or suggestion for other dates, we would like to record.
Okay, Pak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agree. Okay.
Yeah, agree.
Okay. Yeah. At least we already have the goal. So then we will have periodic meetings. Yeah. For the scientific committee. Okay. Thank you so much, Pak Hendy. Shall we move to proposal 5? Okay. So the proposal 5, this proposal is about the topic to be discussed. And our colleague from Erlangga already mentioned that the needs of social dimension of COVID. So we would add that. We suggest about policies, technologies related but not limited to health, business, tourism, education, social aspect. Yeah, okay. And also the new norm, yeah, the new norm and technology, the industrial revolutions 4.0. Okay. Is there any input for us to record?
Excuse me, from UTM. Is there a theme for the conference?
Yeah. You mean the committee?
The theme for the.
Oh, the theme. The theme. Oh, yeah. The theme and then the topics. Yeah. Okay. Could you respond to that, Pak Eko? The theme. Is there any theme that we already in mind?
It's not really. Okay. Okay, that's where we try to collect from all university, and then we will work together and then to have meetings. Okay, to form a team basically. But I will initiate the meeting for that purpose.
Thank you, Pak Ismit. So we make a note on that.
Right.
So
thank you.
That would thank you. Okay, so I think if there is no others,
I have one suggestion. I have one suggestion for the topics. I would suggest if we can add another topics that is on sports.
Sport. Sorry.
Sports.
Sport.
Oh yeah, sport. Oh,
sport. Exercise.
Exercise. Okay.
Yeah, sport.
Okay, that's good. Work from home. Need sport. Of course.
Yeah.
If that work from home.
Yeah. Very essential.
Consequence.
But we cannot do
Work
now.
from home. Thank you, Pak. It's very important, really. Okay. Okay.
See, this
Good.
is Eva.
Okay, yeah, please.
This is from
Dr.
the
Eva.
Yes. What about designing workspaces for the next normal, like maintaining physical distancing, etc., so that I mean when we get back to work, we're always prepared for a next pandemic, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, engineering designs perhaps, or engineering designs for the new workspaces in the next normal, something like that. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, basically our international conference is multidisciplinary. So we would like to have as much as possible ideas from this from multi-discipline, from others discipline. Thank you so much on this.
And may I suggest that August is still a long way, and things might change drastically for the better, I hope. So we might be facing a different situation, and probably the mood of the conference will also be different.
Okay. Okay, Pak Eko, shall we make a note on that?
Hopefully the thing is going better. If going better, then it can be also not teleconference but also offline. It means on site.
Yeah, okay. So we
probability.
We maintain the sharing ideas and communications among us, but then we will see what would be the situation, the conditions. We continue offline or combine
online.
Offline. Yeah, thank you so much.
Even the topics might have to be changed later.
The topic also, of course. Yeah, that's why we need quite frequent meeting, among the scientific committee. There is a dynamic in terms of so many changes in a relatively short in time. Okay. So
how many, please, how many minimal number for scientific committee you want?
Okay. Pak Eko, do you have any in mind how many, how large is the size of the scientific committee?
It's not really in mind, but okay, as I mentioned that, okay, one university can send like, okay, 10 members for this conference. Yeah, it means if we have around 20 universities, it means, okay, around 200, okay, scientific committee. And we hope also all the scientific committee is not only become the reviewer, but also send a paper, so that at least, okay, we can have already like 200 papers. Okay, this is basically the, yeah.
That means the one university can only send one person?
No. One university can send, okay, 10 scientific.
And in maximal, but
yes.
minimal number. How many minimum?
Minimum
2, 3, 4.
Difficult to say. Okay. Yeah, at least 2.
Yeah, at least 2 lah. Yeah.
Okay.
One is few. More than few is 2. Right?
Okay.
Already a lot in terms of minimum.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, so I think we shall we conclude this?
Prof. Kemal.
Yeah, please. Yeah, Bu Brian. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Kemal, for the time. I just want to remind that there is a colleague from Victorian government among us. So if possible, Mrs. Joanne Hasim, because it seems that she's interested to support, I don't know, probably on proposal number 3. Mrs. Joanne, please.
Yeah. Is there any? If we would be happy to have a few words from our colleague from Victoria. Is there any already here?
Yes.
You have to unmute, Joe.
Oh, yes.
We still cannot hear you, Joe. So you have to unmute the microphone. Can you unmute the microphone?
Okay.
Yeah. Cannot? Or maybe your colleague, you said that you have another colleague from Victorian government? Sorry, we cannot hear you. It seems that the microphone sign is missing from your computer.
Okay.
Yeah, Prof. Kemal, I think we cannot hear Ibu Jo.
Okay,
so
okay,
maybe Jo, you can write your expression in the chat room so the OC can read it.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm sorry, yeah, we cannot hear you.
Okay, no problem, Bu. I think Pak Hendy could show our last slide. It's already mentioned there that, yeah. So that's
Pak Kemal.
Back to you, Prof. Kemal.
Yep.
Pak Kemal.
Yep.
I suggest that later on we.
Yeah, I read in here that Joe said that we are happy to be here, and I'm very interested in working with you, with all of us, on proposal number 3.
Okay, thank
so
you so much.
maybe the OC, we can have further discussion with her.
With
yeah,
Joanne,
we are to
yes.
support wherever we can.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, we also mentioned here that there is a possibility.
Back to you, Prof. Kemal.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there is a possibility to extend our collaboration with non-Asian countries. Interested? Yeah, interested. Yeah. So I think this is we could continue to have a communications with our colleague from Victoria Government Agency. Yeah. Thank you so much. So I
Kemal?
think, yeah.
Pak Kemal, I have a suggestion about the scientific committee. Maybe it will be nice if we can identify topics that will be covered during the conference, so that we can set up scientific committee according to those topics. So in this case, the universities can send the staff or professor to be the member of the scientific
Prof. Kemal?
committee for a specific topic.
Okay, thank you. So we will make a note on that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Kemal.
Thank you, Bu Brian. Is there anything more?
If I may add,
Okay, yeah, please do.
Yes, I would like to echo as what Dr. Ismit from UTM has mentioned. We have to be very clear on the theme. Say, for example, if you're gonna look at ASEAN, recovery plan, ASEAN moving forward. So that would be very clear to us, in which we have the subtopics then. Otherwise, we can always, from the proposal number 3, we can always keep on populating whichever, whoever would like to add on. So once we have a theme, once we kind of decide that we can always branch off to topics that actually support the overarching theme. So if you populate as it is, it will be all over, then it will be very difficult. That's number 1. And number 2 is that I noted that in some of the countries we have a few universities. Perhaps you want to break a few, like 2 topics. The champion will be universities in Malaysia, and we will call the others. And another 2 topic, the champion will be from Indonesia, and so forth, so that it will be more coordinated. Otherwise, we can go on and giving ideas without really having a unifying theme as to how do we go about this. So this is just my 2 cents.
Thank you so much. Okay, distinguished participants, I conclude this session. So firstly, we already have an agreement on steering committee, and later on, the university will send a list of names to become member of scientific committee. Okay, that's plan number 1, proposal number 1. And proposal number 2, we already have an agreement that we will have a mutual understanding on data and information exchange, related to research and development information, and information related to COVID risk management. Okay. With regard to proposal number 3, this proposal is on innovation competitions. We are all agree that this will be one of the agenda of the international teleconference. Yeah. And for proposal number 4, the dates, we already agree about the important date is on 8 August 2021. Okay. And then the proposal number 5, that's we would like to discuss the topics, but then before that, we need to have a clear theme. What would be the theme of this conference? And then how we could formulate the topic so that this would cover the needs of the universities. So that's my conclusions. Is there anything before I hand over to the MC? Pak Eko, ada lagi yang mau ditambahkan?
Okay, for me it's clear. Okay, only if any other participant from university that not yet say something, you might be you can have some. I mean, you can give chance to them to give some opinion or something, Pak Kemal? If
Yeah.
no, then I
Yeah.
just.
Is there any other participants? Yeah. We still have time, at least 5 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So, if none, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. I would like to thank you all for good cooperations of all participants of this meeting. Once again, thank you so much. Now, I return this program to the MC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kemal.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, with this, all of the programs of the ASEAN Leaders Meeting have been completed. We thank you very much for your kind attendance and active engagement for today.
Now, we will close the conference, but we will go to the photo session before. The keynote speakers, participant, organizer, or participants are welcome to take a position. Please turn on your video or camera so we can take photos together. Thank you. Okay, please turn on the videos. Okay, I will take the picture. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Assalamualaikum
Yeah.
warahmatullahi
Thank you very much.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you in the
Thank
next
you.
virtual
We
meeting.
will see you
We
again.
will see the next
Okay.
meeting. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Another many virtual meetings.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, the committee.
Yes.
Everybody arrange the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. This meeting is very productive. Really.
Thank you.